What's going on, everyone? Happy Friday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. If you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues. It is time now for the Friday edition of the Pandemic Update for Friday, November 10th, 2023. If you are new to my channel, first off, welcome to my channel. This is where we do the daily pandemic update. Yes, that pandemic. COVID has still not ended, and if you're someone that is convinced that it did, give me 15 minutes or so of your time, and I will prove to you otherwise. If at the end of this video, you see that, hey, COVID is still an issue and other viruses are out there, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below, and I promise to help keep you safe. Alright, starting off today. MLB, yes, Major League Baseball, though the season may be over, they were scheduled to have their annual general managers meeting. However, that meeting, which looks like it was supposed to take place in Scottsdale, Arizona, is not going to be, because Sports Illustrated reports that the meetings were canceled after more than 30 of the executives attending the meetings and staying at the hotel had come down with an illness. According to SI, it was determined to be a virus that spread through the area. Now, I know what you're thinking. They're not saying COVID right now, but let me know. Do you think this was COVID? Let us know down below. I have my suspicion that it could be COVID, but again, it's mere speculation because they do not say here that it is or is not COVID at this time. Speaking of COVID, let's take a look at Sweden. Now, Sweden wastewater. I'm assuming these are all the different regions that we see here on the chart. Whether it is or not doesn't really matter. Take a look at this. You can see that it's just pretty much going upwards. So if this is all the different regions, pretty much all of Sweden right now is going upward, and that is not good to see. Now we come over to this. Puerto Rico declares flu epidemic with 42 deaths and over 900 hospitalizations. It then says those who are 0 to 19 years old have been most affected, with more than 13,600 cases reported in that population, according to Health Secretary. So that is not good, and it's not good to see that Puerto Rico is rising so fast with so early in the season. The island has about 3.2 million people, so that is a lot of cases, and we'll have to see if that is any indication of what's going to happen here in the U.S. Speaking of the U.S., first deaths related to flu and RSV have been reported for this season in Connecticut, so that's something we have to keep an eye on. Moving back to COVID for a second. Long COVID linked to allergies in new study. In an analysis of 13 published prospective studies of people of all ages with confirmed SARS-CoV-2 infection who were followed up for at least 12 months, pre-existing allergic conditions were linked to higher risk of experiencing long COVID, according to a study today. So that is really interesting. And when I was going over this, it made me wonder about myself. Prior to COVID, each allergy season, I would get a bad bout of allergies, specifically in the spring, and makes me wonder. I wonder if that's why I then went on to develop long COVID symptoms. Very interesting. I did post this study on the site, and I did tweet it out. So if you want to read the full study, it is there. Moving on to this now, we do have a couple things to alert to you about with tuberculosis. A tuberculosis case confirmed in Douglas County. I believe this is in, is the one that's in Nebraska? Yes, Omaha, Nebraska. The Douglas County Health Department says a health emergency will be declared after a local case of tuberculosis was tied to a YMCA. And if we come down here, it actually says here, the DCHD said Thursday that one case of TB was confirmed and that officials are working to determine whether any of the potential 500 exposures resulted in additional cases. Yes, you heard me correctly. Potentially 500 exposures. So, yeah, this is a big deal, and we'll have to see if this leads to anything. And then we come over to this in Western Canada, University of Victoria campus has a case of tuberculosis as well. Remember just yesterday, UMass we talked about, down in Boston was dealing with a case of tuberculosis. So, yeah, tuberculosis is out there, and it's an issue. It's starting to increase, and I wish we could find it in wastewater. That needs to become a thing where we can look for it in wastewater because it is just randomly popping up and spreading in places and for no reason. There just seems to be no rhyme or reason as to why it's happening. Alrighty, let's take a look at the latest air quality data, and you're going to see some improvements today. You're going to see some areas that haven't improved. But first off, let's talk about the improvements. The Northeast overall is doing better. The Great Lakes is not terrible. Still some bad air quality in the Carolinas. That's being caused by wildfires, and the same can be said for the West Coast. There are still ongoing wildfire issues out west that are leading to poor air quality. So it's something we'll have to watch, and every time we will get a dip in the jet stream, some of this could ride the ridge in the west and come into the east, or if we get southerly winds in the south, we could see some of that air quality issue spread to the north into the mid-Atlantic and maybe even the northeast. Heat-related illnesses, they're still a thing, nothing like they were in summertime, but there are still a few to be had out there on the east coast, even down in Florida, some in Texas, few in the plains, few in the west. Moving on now, we know that Walgreens this week, the national positivity rate was 26.2%. That's down 1.4% from last week. And testing, though it says was up, is actually down from last week. Moving on now, I wanted to give you the CDC update today, but because tomorrow is Veterans Day, CDC data is going to be delayed. And hopefully we'll update on Monday. And yeah, it's just silly. I get it. Tomorrow's a holiday, but come on. COVID doesn't take a holiday. It infects people 365 days out of the year, 24/7. So why should we stop tracking it and stop reporting on it just because tomorrow's a holiday? COVID's not taking a holiday, and neither should we. I'll be reporting all weekend. Not certain what we're doing on Sunday, but I do know tomorrow we will have another edition of the pandemic update. Wastewater update this week. We may not have one on Sunday. I'm going to show you a few wastewater sites now, like we have been doing. The national wastewater for norovirus is high, COVID is medium. Let's today take a look at two sites. We'll take a look here. How about we come down near Kansas City? Let's see what's going on there, shall we? And in Kansas City, we see COVID right now is low. Ever so slight increase. Influenza is low. RSV is low and dropping. There is some detected. Going back to flu, there actually is no flu detected right now. There was earlier on, but not anymore. No Mpox. Norovirus is low, but it is rising. It may soon go into the medium category, so that's something we have to watch. And from time to time, hepatitis A has been showing up. Now let's do another wastewater site. This time, I say we should go down. Let's see, where do we want to go? How about we go over to Ohio? We haven't done anything in Ohio in a while. And let's go to Akron Water Facility. Let's see what's going on in Akron, Ohio. Yikes, this isn't good. Take a look at this. COVID is listed as high, and it is going rapidly upward at this time. Influenza is low and dropping. RSV, it's low, but it's starting to rapidly go up. HMPV is not an issue. Mpox, not an issue at this time. And you can see here norovirus. It's medium and continuing to rise. Kind of leveled a little bit. It's still going upward on the most recent update, so we'll have to watch. Hopefully that doesn't go into the high. And hepatitis A at this time is not being an issue at this time. There is no hepatitis A. Continuing on, can't show you the latest update of the variants. And there's also no update on hospital admissions. We know both of these numbers on both of these products would be wrong if I showed it to you. Taking a look at EMS incidents for Thursday, November 9th in Philadelphia. And you can see there were 746 EMS incidents reported. That's below 800, so I'm happy. Taking a look at EMS incidents in the suburbs right now, and there are quite a few of them. It's been a very busy day in Montgomery County. I'm seeing multiple respiratory issues. I'm seeing stroke, general weakness, accidents, which is normal, cardiac emergency. At one point earlier today, there were 23 incidents at once. Right now, there's 15 of them, so that's still pretty high. How about Chester County? Yeah, look at this. Heart problems, respiratory difficulties, syncope. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on there as well. So today's totals could come in a little bit higher if Philadelphia is similar. Obviously, there is no CAD system for Philadelphia. I wish major cities around the country would have a public CAD system where we could see the active calls, but there's very few that do. Taking a look at New Jersey now, 435 people in the hospital. That's actually not a bad thing. It's bad to see anybody hospitalized, but they bucked the trend of the increase, and it went down ever so slightly from yesterday. 16 people on a ventilator, 51 people in the ICU, discharges, 79 discharges, so that is good as well. Taking a look at New York State has not updated for today, and I think that's because tomorrow is a holiday. 1,771 COVID cases is the most recent update, and taking a look at this, their hospitalizations are at 1,077. Real quickly before I show you California, I keep mentioning tomorrow's Veterans Day. I know there are a lot of nursing homes, veterans homes, different places that are going to be doing things this weekend. Please, if you're going to hold a function at these centers for the veterans, I get it. Our veterans, they served our country. They served the United States, here in the United States. It's a great thing. I am so thankful for what they did. But if you're going to hold a function, please do these two things. Number one, make sure you have some air purifiers running. And number two, make sure you're at least masking for our veterans and seniors. Please help keep them safe. They helped keep us safe. They went and, joined the military for us. They went and fought for our country and did everything right. Well, guess what? It's our turn to take care of them. And in order to do that, we need to keep them safe from COVID and all these other viruses. Norovirus, tuberculosis, measles. I mean, the list goes on and on. Influenza, RSV, you name it. COVID being the biggest one. So please, we need to help keep our seniors safe. And I hope we do that this weekend when we give them thanks for the service they did for us. And that just doesn't go for the United States. This goes for anywhere around the world. If you're going to go to a senior center, please help keep our seniors safe. All right, moving on now. We have to get through some numbers from California. As we know, California updates on Fridays, and look at this chart. Now, it's coming in with 6.9% positivity. I believe it was 6.8 last week or something like that. Doesn't matter. The chart does justice here. It shows that there is an increase starting to occur. So it's something we're going to have to watch. 14 daily deaths average, and new hospital admissions is at 233 average. So that's not good either. California, still 233 people being admitted to the hospital. All right, taking a look at LA. LA is not doing all that bad. Hospitalizations are actually still dropping. You can see it leveled off ever so slightly, but it's not major. And taking a look at the positivity rate has been creeping up ever so slightly in LA. All right, taking a look at Chicago this week. We saw this yesterday. Hospitalizations in Chicago are slightly down. Bed use is flat. Emergency visits are flat. Confirmed laboratory cases of COVID are down. Deaths are up ever so slightly. And the good news is vaccinations have gone up. Continuing on now, let's take a look at some international numbers. I don't have any other states to show you today, unless you would like me to repeat data that was already seen. If you did not see all the states we talked about yesterday, go back and see yesterday's video. Taking a look at some international cases. Russia is up 32% for cases. Deaths are up 3%. Brazil, cases down 28%, deaths down 49%. Full disclaimer, any country I report on here on Worldometers, it's subject to not be correct. We have found many cases where I report one thing here, then we find a chart that says, oh, No, that's not the case. That country is now rising. So that's something we have to look out for. Germany is up 14% on cases, 42% increase on deaths now, 275 versus 193. And the bad news does not stop there. Poland, what is going on? There is now a 77% increase in cases in Poland, 6,229 versus 3,525. I'm going to investigate on that, and if I do find anything, I'll add it into the pandemic updates this week. And I think there's going to be one tomorrow. Well, there'll definitely be one tomorrow, and I think we're going to probably just go with pandemic update or something like that on Sunday, since there's no wastewater. Let's do one more country while we're at it, shall we? And let's come down here to Malaysia. Malaysia is reporting a 53% increase in cases of COVID, but no new COVID deaths being reported. Alrighty, folks, that's all I have for you today. Can't give you the weekly influenza update because, again, CDC did not update. We'll have that tomorrow. Now, that was a lot of information that you just learned. If you're new to my channel and you're now convinced that COVID is not over, thumbs up on the video and subscribe down below. If you know anyone that needs to see this data or see my videos because maybe they're just out there thinking life is back to normal, they can live their normal life, by all means, share this with them. Try to convince them that the pandemic is not over, because the more people we can help now, the better, because I'm seeing so many people say, man, I wish I would have taken this more seriously. Maybe I wouldn't have had these health problems. Or they're saying, why am I always so sick? Why am I having new heart problems, this problem, that problem, lung problems, you name it. Well, there's a big reason why, and COVID is one of them. So we need to take this seriously. Alrighty, folks, I will see you again next time. Until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone, and have a fantastic weekend. Don't do anything that could jeopardize you becoming infected. Thanks for watching.